We are going live today with Dr. Terry from Love Sunbody, Sunscreen. I literally cannot rave enough about how amazing they are and how incredible he is about just helping the community. And this sunscreen is probably one of the top notch in the country, the world, my favorite. So I think this live is going to be really educational for people if they want to learn about sunscreen and they want to know what's best to protect their skin out there. I really feel like this is it for you, that you should pay attention, listen, and learn from him, because I have learned so much from Dr. Terry. It has been crazy over the last, I think it's been 2 years now. And I think he's opened the eyes to a lot of people that I follow and just, people on his page. But we're going to talk about his story behind Love Somebody. We're going to talk about, a lot to do with how it came to be, what it stands for, what Love Somebody is, and all of the recalls and the stuff that follows that. So, as soon as he pops on, we will go ahead and get this started. But if there are anyone who has questions along the way, please do me a favor. Don't hesitate to ask. Also, there will be a giveaway at the end of this. And it's a great opportunity to try this sunscreen. So the good part is if you're on here and you're following along, at the end, one lucky winner on this live will get this amazing, incredible gift. So I hope you stay. I hope you listen. I hope you're able to just hear us out. And on top of that, I can't believe we're already in the middle of this month, that we are almost done with Melanoma Awareness Month. It's typically very stressful for me, but it's been very good. I've been learning a lot and sharing a lot, and it's been great. So I'm really excited about what I have left to share with you guys, and I hope that you're able to stick around and just see the amazing things that are in store in the future for me and this page. And I just want to say hello to everyone who's here. I appreciate you joining us. Please feel free, like I said earlier, to ask questions for myself or Terry along the way. We're just working on connection. Sometimes it can be tricky, as we know. Anyone who's actually done a live before understands my pain. I will literally send an invite, and hopefully he's able to join. Yeah, if you guys have anything specifically you want to talk about during this, let me know. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining. What are we up to today? I have a promotion ceremony to go to today for my youngest daughter. She's going to be a freshman, and it's kind of crazy to think about. If this connection doesn't work, I may need to start over. Oh, I think we may. Oh, he's on now, so we'll send an invite again and see if we can't get him on. And also, you guys need to go and follow his blog on this website, because there's so much information on his blog. It's incredible. Looks like he's here. We're just maybe working on the camera, but
it is the wrong way.
Yeah, there we go. You're sideways.
We're sideways?
Yeah,
okay.
Like there we go. Now
okay.
There we go.
Is that good?
Yeah, we got you from here up. I don't know if you know that too.
No, I'll fix this.
There we go. There we go.
We're going to make this work.
There we go. Now we can see you.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Glad to have you. Thanks for coming on. I know it's always technologically difficult with these sometimes.
Okay, good. I was expecting to jump on the PC, so I figured I would check the phone, but great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you back. This is I think our second or third year talking. I think it might be our third.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really, I think I was telling people earlier, it's just so, I'm always learning from you. I'm always like, no matter when I think I'm ahead and I'm like, I got it all down, there's something else that your blog especially is so informative for people. I was just trying to let them know to check it out because that is where I've learned so much. And it just goes on and on about, you know, the sunscreens that are out there today, and they're scary. They freak me out. But you've created something truly amazing. And I know any viewer here or that will see this video, if you have not checked them out, I encourage you with everything I am and who I am and what I stand for, that it is by far the best that I have ever worn. And I know Jody on this live right here is a huge follower for Love Somebody. You actually send her team an entire line to try out because she works for a television show.
Yes, that's wonderful. We're very excited that Jody's going to be using Love Somebody, or is using Love Somebody on all the cast and crew for one of the shows. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, that you sponsored them. That's just incredible. And that's the kind of thing that you do. It's like you're very big on helping others and making sure that, you know, you're doing your part. And I just wanted to know if you could touch on, like, why did you start Love Somebody? How is that with your family? Like, how did this all come to be?
Well, the story begins that we were visiting a beach in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, and my wife and my brother-in-law and I started having a conversation about sunscreens. And the story was something that we talked about all day long. It wound up becoming a conversation that turned into Love Somebody. And we started the day talking about sunscreen because my brother-in-law had asked my wife actually to put some sunscreen on his back. And we started talking about sunscreen and the ingredients in sunscreen. And we questioned, with all of the sunscreens out there, why we were looking for a sunscreen with all natural ingredients and safe ingredients, and we couldn't find one. And also a sunscreen that would be truly effective, because sometimes you use an SPF 30 or an SPF 50, and one brand you'll get a sunburn and another brand you won't. So that was the whole mission, what started Love Somebody, to create a truly safe and a truly effective sunscreen. And in my family, we've had so many people with cancer that have passed from cancer, and it wound up becoming a mission, saying that this is something that I have to do. So I had left my normal job and started Love Somebody, and that's where we are today. That's how Love Somebody was formed.
And you started this company in 2016, is that correct, or is that off?
In 2012, we started the company. In May of 2012. It took 6 years of research and development to launch the first Love Somebody products in May of 2018.
Okay.
So it was 6 years worth of work. We were looking at the active ingredients, what was considered safe in America, and what was considered safe in Europe. The active ingredients, which are the UVA and the UVA and UVB filters, and as well as the inactive ingredients. And that 6 years, we were then able to launch the Sunbody SPF 30 and SPF 50 body formulas. And then 2 years later, we launched the SPF 30 facial formula. And then last year, we launched the tinted product called the Glow Natural Tinted Formulas.
Oh, love that. Love that. Love that. Yeah, you've done great just in continually giving people an opportunity to not only learn from you, but like get a product that will be safe and not harm their body, like a lot of the everyday ones you can get at the grocery store. I don't know, you have a question here. I don't know if you want to answer that real quick so we don't skip it, but it says, can I use the body sunscreen every day as a daily lotion?
Yes, you can use the body sunscreen every single day as a lotion. You're getting it in the ingredient profile is that if you were using the SPF 30 product for a body lotion every day, you'd be getting a ingredient profile of sunflower seed oil and shea butter and vegetable glycerin and vitamin E and jojoba esters. So the formula is very hydrating, and the active ingredients, the zinc in the SPF 30 and the zinc and titanium, the SPF 50, they are the UV filters, but there's no negative effects to wear the sunscreen every single day of the year. I use them every day, and a lot of our clients, they put them on at night as moisturizers, and then they put them on again the next day to use them all. But specifically, the facial product has the additional raspberry seed oil because it does offer additional moisturization and phytosterols in there. So you may want to consider using the facial product as a moisturizer specifically for the face, and then the body product, for your hands, for your feet as well, and the rest of your skin is a moisturizer.
Yeah, that's a great point. As far as your differences, like if you were to tell somebody, I mean, a lot of people, I feel like, will go to the basic grocery store or CVS or what have you, and they will see a sunscreen, not realizing the importance of, the back, the ingredients, what they need to be avoiding versus what is. There's been a ton of like recalls out there, a lot of like red flags that I don't think people truly understand what exactly that all means. I don't know if you could break that down as far as specific things that are super important and just kind of like summarize that in a way that people would understand today.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, it's very important to understand that cosmetics, a certain amount of cosmetics that are absorbed into the skin and into the bloodstream. And that's the same for sunscreens and anything that you put on your skin. So if you're concerned about what you're eating and putting into your mouth, just as concerned about what you're putting on your skin, because a lot of it is being absorbed, and it's being absorbed into your bloodstream. And we could talk about the studies of that in a few minutes. But why it's so important to really read the label and what is in the product is because sunscreen is an OTC product. It's considered a drug product in the States and a medicinal product in Canada and in Europe and other parts of the world. So it's just not considered a lotion because it has active ingredients, just like aspirin is considered over-the-counter product. So it's very important how the product is made and what the ingredients are in the formula. And while a lot of people now are transitioning over from a chemical sunscreen to a mineral sunscreen because they may have read an article about the active ingredients, oxybenzone, octinoxate, homosalate, avobenzone, about these ingredients being absorbed into the skin, and the FDA is not able to conclude that these ingredients are truly safe and that they're absorbed at higher levels than the FDA or believes. They've asked the companies for more data. So there's really not enough data to show that those chemical filters are truly safe. And the FDA monitored that only states that actually zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are both truly safe and truly effective. But to your question and to your point, the zinc and titanium sunscreens that you may find in a drugstore, they may be made with many different types of inactive ingredients, the lotion that's in the product, and that may be from natural ingredients. They say they're natural, or that might be from petroleum-based ingredients like silicone and dimethicone and other ingredients that have been shown not to be safe and not to be healthy. If you look, last May, there was a company in Connecticut called Valisher. And Valisher was a chemical company. And they found benzene in 78 different lots of sunscreens. And this was sunscreens that are all over the world. Benzene has been shown to cause cancer at very low concentrations. So about a month after that, they petitioned the FDA to have these products recalled, and some companies made a decision a month later to recall these products. Now, what we feel, the benzene contamination occurred from a petroleum-based ingredient, because benzene is typically a contaminant found in petroleum. So that means that most likely benzene came from either when the raw ingredient was manufactured and on the assembly line that ingredient was chemically made or extracted, it had petroleum contamination, or the ingredient was made from a petroleum-based ingredient. Or the third scenario where the benzene contamination could have occurred is that when the sunscreen was being made together and being mixed, the cleansing ingredient had a petroleum-based ingredient with the benzene contamination. And in one of those three areas is most likely where the benzene contamination occurred. Now, what have companies done to prevent this going forward? None of these companies that have had the benzene contamination have stated anything that they've taken measures to stop this from occurring in the future.
Right.
But that's one of the issues that you have with some store-bought brands, that the ingredient profile in there, there's no third party looking at what's going in there. There's no third party testing what ingredients are going in there. And there's a lot of greenwashing that basically says that the product's safe and says the product may have natural ingredients when it's truly not.
Yeah, I do notice I went through Target the other day and I took photos of like all these different types of sunscreens to compare and just kind of do like this whole charade about it. And what I did notice, it was like, it would say like no oxybenzone, but you look on the back and it's got like homeosalate and all the other things. So as a consumer, if it does say no oxybenzone, but it has all those other situations, what does that really mean for that sunscreen?
Right. Well, the issue with some companies that have taken oxybenzone out of their products, or they've taken octinoxate out of their product because it's being banned in areas like Hawaii, the Virgin Islands, Key West, Florida, Palau, a myriad of places, because of what's happening. And these ingredients have been shown to bleach the coral reefs. That does not necessarily mean that the ingredients that they're using are safe. That means that they're placating their customers, that they've taken out the oxybenzone and octinoxate while leaving the octocrylene and homosalate and the other ingredients that have been shown to be hormone disruptors and also killed, affect the other animals in the ocean with the octocrylene, and as well that these ingredients, all of the most common chemical filters, have been shown by the FDA to be absorbed into the skin, into the plasma, and circulate in the bloodstream for several days up to a whole month. And what the FDA has concluded after 2 studies is that they do not longer know, because the ingredient levels were higher than these studies showed that they thought that was circulating in the bloodstream from absorption. They no longer can state what amounts of these chemical ingredients are safe. They have stated that zinc and titanium are not absorbed into the skin and conclusively can be categorized as truly the only safe filters on the market today.
So what you really want to see in that active ingredients are those exact two items. And you want to look for active ingredients, zinc, and titanium oxide. Those are the two things that I know I look for. And, this question here says, what brands do you recommend? Obviously, I think you have an answer to that, if you would like to share that.
Right. Well, Katie, it's not just the zinc oxide and the titanium dioxide. It's to use non-nano zinc and non-nano titanium for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, what the differences are is nano zinc or nano titanium. What that means is nano means small. And if a sunscreen does not state non-nano zinc or non-nano titanium, most likely it's nano, if it just says zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. And the reasons why you want to stay away from that also is because as the manufacturer of that zinc takes the molecule size down, when they take the zinc mineral and then they process it and they make the molecule smaller and smaller, the difference is that as the molecule is smaller and smaller and they're processing it, what happens is it becomes more transparent. And that means it's no longer white. And what happens when UV rays hit that molecule, the zinc is supposed to work and the titanium is supposed to work by the UV ray captures by that white molecule, and also some of that UV ray is reflected. When the molecule becomes smaller and more transparent, the UV ray goes through the molecule into your skin. So number one, it's really not as safe as using the larger size molecule. The reason why the companies use the nano size particle is because they're less whitening. And they haven't made their formulas rub in well like Love Sunbody.
But number two, so much sense. Well said.
Number two, it's the reefs. Not only is zinc and not only is the oxybenzone, octinoxate, all these other chemical filters detrimental to the mitochondria inside the cells of the coral that wind up bleaching it and killing it, but the non-nano zinc, the nano zinc and the nanoparticles of titanium are also absorbed because they're smaller, and that's why it's also not safe for our oceans. So to use a mineral sunscreen that's both truly safe for humans and truly safe for our environment, the product should say non-nano zinc or non-nano zinc and non-nano titanium. And we also want to concentrate on, we want to have a sunscreen that's dominant non-nano zinc, because titanium does a very good job for UVB protection, but it doesn't cover the full UVA spectrum. So we want to get a zinc-based sunscreen over 20% non-nano zinc. And if you want to have a higher SPF number than a 30, like what we do for Love Sunbody, is we add the additional titanium to boost the SPF number up, because SPF is rated UVB protection. It has nothing to do with the UVA. That's something else we could talk about for Europe.
Wow, that's an incredible way of explaining that. I think I got that way better than I did with any other photo or anything I've read. Like, that was a great way to describe it. I think a lot of people truly get that. So I appreciate that. That was a great way to, I think, when she asked, what sunscreen do you recommend? Obviously, we're here talking about your sunscreen, which is Love Sunbody. And I feel when I recommend this sunscreen, not only is it giving my peace of mind to the person I'm talking to it about, or my family, for example, I feel truly safe with it. And I think a lot of people who understand where it's coming from and what you've created is by far, I think, so much more important. And I think that's my real point. What I want to drive home is like, sunscreen is made by all over the place, so many different companies. It is overwhelming. So I do think, like, as far as we're talking about for the European standard versus the USA standard, I know that's something I don't think a lot of people truly understand, but it's something that I've come to notice lately, and you know, the EWG app and all that, or their website. So I don't know if you could touch a little bit on their standard versus our standard, and why Love Somebody has met the UE standard.
Well, I'll summarize it as this. In America, the FDA is it mandatory to label the product the SPF number that the formula looks to protect for UVB rays. That SPF number of 30 or 50. That's a protection from UVB rays. It doesn't discuss anything about the UVA protection. And why it's so important to have a sunscreen with good UVA protection is because when the sun is shining, and we think about in the summertime to wear sunscreen, and that we put that sunscreen to protect from a sunburn, what many consumers don't understand or realize is that in the winter or in the spring or the fall, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's inclement weather, the UVB ray, which is the weaker ray, is blocked by clouds, it's blocked by snow, it's blocked by rain. But the UVA exposure we get all year round is the same amount of exposure all year round. So if we're sitting in front of a window, we're getting UV rays getting through that glass where the UVB doesn't. And in Europe, it's required that at least 1/3 of the sunscreen protect us from UVA. So most sunscreens that are made in America cannot be sold in Europe because they do not give enough UVA protection. Our formula is Love Somebody. Every formula we make meets the UV requirements, the UVA requirement, where at least 1/3 of the product protect for UVA. So the sunscreens have true efficacy, not only for UVA, but for UVB. And why that is such a concern is the UVA rays go deeper into the skin. The UVB ray only goes superficial into the skin, and the UVA ray goes much deeper into the skin.
And this, well, it's, again, well done. This standard for meeting the European, is it difficult to get to that point? Was it a challenge for you to create the Love Somebody to meet that? And was it something you had, like it was important for you to meet it?
Yes, yes. When we founded Love Sunbody and we started to do the formulation work, the two most important things about Love Somebody were both the efficacy of the product and the ingredient profile to be truly natural. Mm-hmm. And the efficacy profile, what we're talking about right now for a mineral sunscreen, is that you need to have a very high mineral content to be able to meet the UVA profile. For the chemical sunscreens, the reasons why that there's multiple chemicals in there is because each chemical specifically covers a band of UVA or UVB. So oxybenzone might cover this part of UVB, and homosalate may cause this part of UVB, and avobenzone this part of UVA. So they have to piggyback and throw a lot of chemicals in there, where zinc oxide covers the whole spectrum of UVA and UVB up to 370 nanometers. And titanium dioxide does a very good job, and you can use less titanium in the formula and actually boost the UVB protection in there, and that's a way to make the product less whitening. So rather than for our SPF 50 formulas adding additional zinc over the 20%, we add a little additional titanium for that UVB exposure. But it is very difficult because you have to do another test for it, where in America, it's only required that you do SPF testing and water resistance testing. This UVA testing is required for Europe. Most American sunscreens cannot be sold in Europe because they don't do the testing and they don't have enough of these ingredients. It's very hard to do because you have to formulate the formula to first meet the UVA profile for Europe, and then we know it will also meet the FDA profile. So yes, it is very difficult, but we were able to accomplish that.
And see, that's the one of the things, just learning about your story and how long. I mean, it took years for you to get the first, Love Somebody formula. I mean, you spent what, 8 years or 6 years on that?
6 years for the initial formulas, and then the facial product came out 2 years later, which was 10, and then the tinted formula the following year, 11, and now we had just launched our updated and new facial and body formulas, which are lighter and they rub on a lot easier. And what we learned after launching the formulas, and our clients' feedback was they like the formulas to be a little bit lighter, dry a little bit faster. What we've done is that we were able to, using the same amount of mineral ingredients, add a few additional ingredients, one of them being shea butter and jojoba esters, to help the formulas dry faster and to be less whitening, where now you put them on, they dry within 30 to 60 seconds. It's not whitening. They feel silky. And all the feedback that we've had has been everybody loves them. So we really feel so blessed to be able to accomplish what we've done, is to have a truly effective portfolio and line of sunscreens for people that want a tinted or a non-tinted product at SPF 30 and SPF 50, where the formula truly is world-class UVA and UVB protection for efficacy, and the ingredient profile is 100% natural. You will not find another sunscreen in America that is certified by EcoCert Cosmos Natural. And what that means is that every single ingredient that we are purchasing for our formulas has been certified in advance, that there's no petroleum-based ingredients, there's no pesticides in there, they're gluten-free, they're vegan, and we also test that the formulas are hypoallergenic. There's no allergens in our sunscreens. And we test that the formulas are non-comedogenic clinically, that they won't cause acne. And for our facial products, we test the formulas around the eyes clinically, that there's no eye-stinging ingredients. You may have put sunscreen on in the past and water got into there or sweat got into your eyes in the sunscreen. Yes. And ours does not, because there's no chemical or synthetic ingredients in the formulas.
Well, I don't know about anyone watching this, but so far, if you're not sold on any of this, you just don't understand how incredibly important, I mean, all of what you said is. And I have little kids, like I've said before, and they're my number one priority to keep safe. And I have said it before, and I'll say it again, like, that is the only one that I give them to feel 100% in and safe. And a lot of what people are trying to understand, I think way more in this day and age, and from like 2019 to current, is people are trying to understand what sunscreen is. They're trying to get, especially in this community, a lot of the recalls, and people are trying to get a grasp on it. So the more that we talk about it and the more people learn and share, is, I think, everybody's goal as an advocate and as a doctor for yourself. And I just can't express how important sunscreen is to understand. And you know, your blog and your website are a great connection into the world of it if people want to learn more, I feel. So I think that people should check out your website. You can also purchase the sunscreen there and on Amazon. Is that correct? People were asking that earlier.
That's right, Katie. We're at Amazon, which you can search for the Love Somebody store, or our own website is lovesomebody.com. We have some retail partners, Olane and the Detox Market. So all of these e-commerce and virtuals and the brick and mortar stores can be bought in store or shipped globally. We ship all over the world. We have orders that go all over the world on a daily basis. But as well, I think it's very important for people to understand that when you're doing what we're doing, we are purchasing ingredients that have been tested in advance, and they're clean and they're safe. Our sunscreens are more expensive than many sunscreens on the market, but our certification is what matters.
Right.
And what matters is that our clients understand that our sunscreens are best in class.
Right.
They're truly effective for you and your family, and the ingredients are truly safe for you and your family. And why that means so much to us is because we created this sunscreen for me and my family, right, to be able to then share with you and your family. We have 8 different melanoma organizations that recommend Love Sunbody. And why that is so important to us is because they all use it themselves, and they are raising money for melanoma research. They're raising money for families that are going through melanoma and finding the cure and the research as well. But they're recommending Love Somebody because we make the cleanest products on the market that have third-party certification, that meet the testing requirements for Europe, and are safe. And that is so important today with ingredients in there that may seem like a safe product, just like that you're going to read the label on that ingredient in a drugstore when you're buying. You may read it on a pharmaceutical product. You should be doing the same thing with a sunscreen, the same way that you're going to be reading about the ingredient profile about something that's made in the food store.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that's one thing that I think people really need to understand and grasp, that you're putting this on your body. Your body's absorbing it. It's going into your bloodstream. And I did want to touch on this question because I think I asked you once before, but a lot of people, especially on like TikTok social media app, that they say like, I always get it. It's like, sunscreen causes cancer. Why are you using sunscreen? What do you have to say to that?
Well, Katie, sunscreen does not cause cancer. They have never found any specific ingredient that was put into sunscreen that causes cancer. The benzene contamination that happened last year was a contaminant effect. It's not an ingredient that was supposed to be in sunscreen. So it's a very hard argument for somebody to say sunscreen causes cancer. There's better rationalization saying not wearing sunscreen and getting too much UVA and UVB exposure, you're going to wind up eventually getting melanoma. And look, I've heard, you know, obviously being a, you know, the chief formulator and founder and CEO of Love Sunbody, I've heard many different commentary. People with darker skin tones saying, I don't need to wear a sunscreen. Well, that's ridiculous as well, because what happens with people with darker skin tones, when they go to a dermatologist, their melanoma is usually stage 2, 3 later, because they didn't initially see the melanoma, right, or they may think that they were protected because they had a higher melanin content of the skin tone. People of all skin tones should be using sunscreen on a daily basis, something that they believe in, something they like, something they did the research on,
Right.
and they feel comfortable using the product. But these people that may be saying that, they really need to look at the research and not making guesses saying sunscreen causes cancer. Because if that was the case, while in the U.S., the FDA may be less prudent than Europe at pulling ingredients out, Europe would not be selling any sunscreens if that was the case, that they showed any indication of cancer causing in the profile, or those ingredients would be pulled immediately. And that's why we follow the formulation and the efficacy for European guidelines.
Which is incredible. And I've always said that to people, like, sunscreen is a personal preference, but I always tell people, please just do your research, figure out what is behind all the sunscreen hoopla and the rumors and this, that, and the other. Just make sure you're doing your research, find one you love that you will wear every day, and stick with it. I mean, I will always rave about yours, but if that's not for somebody else, as long as you're putting it on and you're using it every day, is going to benefit you versus not using it.
Right. Well, look, if it's helpful for anybody watching to tell their family or friends or for themselves, what makes our sunscreens different is the EcoCert certification for Cosmos Natural. What that means is that we have a third party that audits our ingredients. When we start certification, it's a 5-step process. All of our ingredients have to be certified that the ingredients are safe. Okay. Number 2, our formulas are then reviewed, and the formulas means the combination of all of those ingredients are safe. And that includes that we cannot use any synthetic ingredients in the formula, or we do not use any petroleum-based phthalates, parabens, anything that has shown that has any type of causation to have negative detrimental effects, not only to humans, but also the environment. Our packaging has to be eco-friendly, and we use post-consumer recycled plastic that's been recycled and used again to cut down on plastic waste. Our labels on our packaging has to be reviewed. Every single word is reviewed by EcoCert for truth and accuracy, for our claims that are natural and that they're approved, that there's truth in labeling, and we're not greenwashing, and what we say is what we put into the products. And number 5, we're audited every year on the ingredients that we're purchasing that are actually certified, that's what we're actually putting into the products, and we're not using any cleansing ingredients that are petroleum-based as well, that they're natural. Right. And that's really what makes Love Sunbody different than any other sunscreens in the world.
Which is incredible. And you just created 3 brand new ones. These are the ones that go on, I mean, so well. They're more of like he was touching on it, like a smoother, fast drying sunscreen. So if you maybe just want to touch a little bit on the 3 of these and let people know a little bit behind them and why maybe this purchase would be good for them, that would be great.
Well, the first, Katie, that we reformulated is the new facial product. It's our Pure Power Daily Moisturizing Mineral Face Sunscreen. And this is just a wonderful product. The facial product has the additional raspberry seed oil, but it has a very high amount of non-nano zinc oxide, and the ingredient profile is the shea butter, sunflower seed oil, jojoba esters, vegetable glycerin, things that are hydrophobic, that are moisturizing. It's not drying to the skin. And when you put it on, the sunscreen rubs in and dries quickly, that you don't look white, and that we have 80-minute water resistance in all of the formulas, including the facial formula. And specifically for the facial products, we do the eye stinging testing, that if you put it around your eyelids, where you should be putting it around your eyes and on your eyelids and in the creases of your eyes and on your nose, that there's no eye stinging ingredients, that you can wear it every day. that you're exercising indoors or outdoors and sweating, that anything water sweating into your eyes, that the sunscreen will not burn.
That's a beautiful one.
And then we have the SPF 30 formulas that are similar to the facial product. We have one that's a fragrance-free product. Now, the facial product is fragrance-free. We don't put any fragrance into the facial product, and that has the white cap. But to differentiate that for the body, we named the product this year Sheer Perfection. Mm-hmm. And how we came up with Sheer Perfection is because it goes on perfectly. It rubs in and it dries and it feels silky, and it just has a great feel to it. And it's fragrance-free. And it has a lot of the benefits of the facial product. It just doesn't have the raspberry seed oil. And for the 30 scented product, we've added a little bit of vanilla and titanium. It's a very muted scent. And when we first envisioned putting a scent into the product, I wanted to have something that was very mild in both men and women and children that would be surprised and also find that they could put on a scent that they would really like. And it's very, very mild. It's just barely there, but it's a nice, warm scent of vanilla, and tiare is a flower from the South Pacific. So it almost smells like you're on vacation, yeah, but it's very mild.
Yeah, it does. It is very mild. It's not like you're putting it on and you're put on this entire oil of vanilla. It's subtle, but in a very calming way. So if you're looking for that sort of outdoorsy, beachy vibe, it's kind of gives you that little bit of hint, and in a very, very soothing kind of way, I feel.
And we sell it. We actually, it's not like 10% of our clients are buying the scented version for the body. It's almost 50%.
Really?
A lot of people like the scent, and that's very unusual for a sunscreen, because a lot of people don't like even how the sunscreen smells. Our unscented products have no scent at all.
Yeah.
And the scent has that minor tiare vanilla, which as it dries, you'll smell it occasionally, but I recommend trying it because everybody seems to like it.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, great. Thank you. We also have the 50s, and they have the additional titanium dioxide, a little over 7%. And that's to boost the UVB up from an SPF of 30 to an SPF of 50.
Oh.
And to that point, I think it would be good to tell anybody watching, when you want to wear an SPF 30 or when you want to put on an SPF 50 may be very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
So an SPF 30 blocks 97% of all UV. Now, that's only going to happen if you put enough sunscreen on.
Yeah.
You need to be putting at least a tablespoon or two on your face every single day. And with Love Somebody, we recommend putting a little bit on and rubbing it in and then doing the next area. And there'll be a whitening as you put on the formula and as it dries. That's one way to put it on, and it'll have a beautiful application. But if you're going to be outside for longer than an hour or two, you probably want to look to use the SPF 50. If you have very fair skin, you probably want to use the SPF 50. And number 3, if you've had melanoma or melanoma, if you have melanoma, or if you've had melanoma and you've had skin damage, wrinkles, and age spots, that's all signs of skin damage. You want to use the SPF 50 formulas as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point to clarify, because I don't know if a lot of people knew that difference. So that is a great point to touch on. Is there anything in particular you would like to share that maybe we haven't touched on, or that I have forgotten in particular?
Well, it's very important that everybody use the minimum of SPF 30 and not an SPF 15 or 20. Those products may be on the market, but the American Academy of Dermatology recommends to use nothing less than an SPF 30. Okay. And what I was going to say about something higher than an SPF of 50, the reason why we do not make an SPF higher than 50 is because the most rigorous market and the most melanoma patients that we see annually is in Australia, because the amount of of sun hours that you get in Australia, how sunny it is there. And the Australian government doesn't let manufacturers label over an SPF 50 because they feel that an SPF 50 that blocks 98% of UV, when a sunscreen is labeled SPF 60 or 70 or 80, it's really not doing anything additional. That SPF 50, if you're putting on the proper dosage of SPF 50, then that is going to have enough UVA protection for anyone, just making sure that you put on enough. And I like to, Katie, you brought that up, say something about sprays.
Oh, I was just about to say that. What do you think about sprays?
Well, I know we spoke about that earlier before the call.
Yeah.
But the sunscreen sprays, why we recommend that our clients do not use sprays, are for three reasons, very important reasons. Do not use sunscreen sprays is number one, the flammability. Because they're aerosolized, if you go near an open flame like a cigarette or a lighter or a barbecue, there's a good chance that the sunscreen flame will flame up and somebody could get burned. Number two is the inhalation concerns, is that breathing these ingredients in is not healthy. Sunscreen was not designed to be breathed in. And if you've been to a park or a beach or a pool or near somebody applying a sunscreen spray and you smell it, that means you're inhaling it. And that's not healthy. And number three, and most important, if you're going to remember one of these reasons not to use a sunscreen spray, is because of efficacy. When you put a sunscreen spray on, you're only getting 1/3 to 1/4 of the recommended dose of sunscreen. So you're not getting enough sunscreen. And that, if you put on any more, you're just going to be sopping wet. That's why our formula has a little bit of viscosity to it, and it's more of a cream. So it layers on like a lotion would just, a liquid would just not be sufficient for coverage. And that's why we recommend not to use a sunscreen spray. And Consumer Reports has said for over 10 years, do not put sunscreen sprays on children, and an adult should not put a sunscreen spray on their face. So it's been very clear in the research to stay away from sunscreen sprays.
I almost wonder why they even invented them, honestly. Like, why? Like, the convenience of it all. It's like, it only takes a couple of, amount of time to put on a lotion type sunscreen. The sprays drive me crazy. I absolutely hate them. Literally.
Well, if you have family, friends, and you see them using sunscreen sprays, you have a very good reason to have a nice conversation about why not use them. We have a better solution.
Yeah, I educate a lot of my 19-year-old daughter's friends because they're, going on the lake, which we don't live far from, and they're using these sprays. And I don't know if I was going to tell you this, but my daughter took the, I believe this one with her to the lake. All of those, and there were like 10 or 12 of them, all of them took this from her and used it that day. They fell in love with it. So, I mean, that's just to tell you, these 19-year-old kids who are out partying in the sun and love the sun, they all just took it from them. Were like, I want that one. And then they all had sprays and all the other weird ones that were out there. So I forgot to let you know that it was a fan favorite of the boat trip that she's been on the last 2 weekends. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. No, that's terrific. Well, Katie, if anyone else has any questions, please feel free.
Like, where do I get it?
If anybody questions.
I don't know if there's I think most of this, I think we got most of any questions throughout here, but
okay.
Yeah, if there's anything else you would like to touch on, otherwise we are to be giving away these beauties today. So, oops.
Why don't you pick somebody from the audience? Just pick somebody, and we'll just ask them for their full address, and we'll get that shipped out to them today for participating in today. And we also want to thank everybody that is on, that is clients, or anybody that winds up looking to try them. We're very thankful for our clients and the tremendous support that we've received and feedback on all the products. So thank you again.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
You're absolutely. I'm a big, huge fan and a supporter, and I will always, always, always use your sunscreen. So that's a given for me, and my family as well. So as far as this giveaway goes, I had quite a few participants throughout here, but let's see. I think this comment here about, where was it? It was something, oh, someone did ask a question I think I missed before we get the winner. It does say, is the product packaging eco-friendly? Which I think you did touch on, but I don't know if that was.
Yes. So part of the EcoCert certification is that the product should have a degree of recyclability as well as minimalized packaging. And what minimalized packaging means is that we're avoiding what we can in excess packaging, like a box, and the packaging is minimalized, efficient. And that's why we do not use a box for it. We ship the product in a box that's packaged in paper, so much of recyclability as possible. And our tubes are made with post-consumer recycled plastic that has been used before and has recyclability functionality as well. So we're doing as much as we can, not only on the sustainability of using the ingredients from the biodynamic farming and the sustainability of everything that we're purchasing. It is also on the packaging.
Yeah, which is incredible, because I mean, if it's not one thing you're trying to do for the environment, you have every aspect of your company that is either saving the environment, saving people, or saving everything. I mean, I just feel like everything that you offer is a better product than what you're going to find on the store. It's just what I believe in what you offer. It's literally written in everything that you do. So yeah.
Well, thank you. And green, what green means to us is that we're green from everything that we do. It comes down to every single thing, not wasting paper when we're doing a presentation and emailing and let's mail. It comes down to the sustainability and the sourcing of the ingredients, the packaging, the labeling, the recyclability of what we do, not only for the company, but for how we're actually packaging and selling our product as well. That's a little bit of everything. And not everybody may be interested in that, but we're doing it regardless. So we feel that to really be a sustainable company, it has to cover all of these parts to say that we're truly green and we're truly clean and a sustainable company.
Yeah.
And that's what the brand stands for. That's what Love Somebody stands for. And that's how we created the brand. Real quick, Katie, the heart, Love Somebody, that's the sunrise or the sunset over water.
Oh.
And you haven't noticed that, or if you have.
I mean, I didn't put that together, but I do see that now, 100%.
The yellow over the blue.
Yeah.
And then the sun, there's a sun ray on the D, and there's a sun ray on the D, like the overlap in our logo. That's the sun rays on your body.
Wow, I didn't know your logo had the little things like that. Wow, that's so cool. I didn't realize. Yeah, it does. It goes over each one. That's cool. Even your logo has a little something. I'm telling you, it never ends. It's super great. And I do want to, again, encourage people, please check out his website and his blog portion especially. You will learn and in way more than we could even fit into this live, but I really encourage you check it out because it's worth it.
And also sponsors and retailers are available. Lane and the detox market. If you have an Amazon account, just search for Love Somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You could put that right in your cart. And if you have a Amazon Prime membership, there's no shipping charges there. And on lovesomebody.com, over $30, there's free shipping as well.
Which is incredible. So, all right. So I think for the winner for these 3 new products, and they're incredible, by the way, will be, I kind of scrolled through and just tried to see as far as like people participating, asking questions, and just kind of the comments that they made throughout. It's really tough to pick a winner. I mean, it's not, but if I just kind of scroll through, we had quite a few people join in, but I think that living in threes is probably who I think we're going to go with.
Great.
Not only did she learn, it looks like she learned a lot, but she has 3 little girls, and she said she wants better for them. And I know that's super important to you as far as family and what you stand behind, and as mine as well. And so I would think she would be a great person to send them to. And I do think I appreciate everybody who came on here and just participated and asked questions. And, you know, if I could give it to everyone, we would, but we just can't. So just want to say thank you to all who were here today. And I hope you learned something. So, yeah, I'll send you her info and get in touch with her, and just let her know if she had to leave on this live. And we'll go from there. So,
Katie. Well, thank you again, and thanks everybody for joining.
Yeah, absolutely. So I look forward to talking to you soon, and thanks again.
All right. Cheers, everyone.
Have a good day. Thank you.